Senator Whitehouse.
Thank you, Chairman. Welcome.
I'm sorry, what did you call me?
Chairman.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, you're the acting chair, aren't you? You got the gavel. You all, if you are confirmed, will become members of the federal judiciary. You all will become members of the federal judiciary at a time when there is a particularly difficult threat environment for judges. A person threatening a judge has committed a crime, correct?
Yes, Senator.
Yes, Senator.
Yes, Senator.
And the criminal liability related to that threat could extend beyond the utterer of the threat. Is that also correct?
I think that would depend strongly on the facts and circumstances, the nature of the
Absolutely.
threat.
But there are facts and circumstances in which criminal liability for threatening a judge could extend beyond the utterer of the threat to individuals who may have orchestrated or in other ways directed that the threat be uttered against the judge. Is that, all three of you agree with that?
And I think my answer to that would be that it just depends strongly on the facts and
Very
circumstances
much. But
of that
legally,
situation.
it's a very open route that could happen if the facts and circumstances are there, correct?
Yes, Senator.
I would agree with my colleague, Senator.
I agree with my colleagues.
And let's say that you are now a judge and you are on the receiving end of that threat. Would you expect that the Marshal Service, or if the Marshal Service has handed the investigative piece of this over to the FBI would take a look at not only the utterer of the threat, but also evidence that there may be other parties complicit or culpable behind the utterer of the threat?
And Senator, there's been some very recent case law on the analysis of threats, both against individuals and against federal officials. And I would hope that the investigating officers and the investigating AUSAs would look closely at those factors and would look at also the facts and circumstances of the individual involved and the circumstances surrounding that. And so I think my answer to that is I would hope that the U.S. Marshals, the Federal Protection Service, and the AUSAs who are assigned to that case would look closely at all of those factors and make an appropriate determination.
Do you all agree that it would be wrong to categorically refuse to investigate behind the utterer, no matter what the evidence?
I think I'd revert back to my original answer that it just depends very strongly on the facts and circumstances of the threat and whether it's analyzed as a true threat or whether other individuals are involved in making that threat as well.
Which means that if there were such facts and circumstances, it would be wrong for federal investigators as a categorical matter to refuse to investigate that. There is a possible avenue of investigation, and to foreclose that would not be right. Do I understand that correctly?
I think so, Senator. My original answer remains the same, that I would hope they analyzed all the facts.
But depending on the facts and circumstances, it would be wrong to foreclose investigating that at all as a categorical matter. Do you agree as well, Mr.?
Senator, I agree with my colleague. I think it's a highly factual circumstance, and I don't think I can offer an opinion as to the scenario presented.
Except that, you know, every criminal investigation ends up being a highly factual circumstance, and if there is an avenue of investigation and of criminal liability, that should be investigated where the facts and circumstances justify. It's a fairly straightforward proposition. You're not contesting that, are you?
Senator, my understanding of your question, whether every avenue of investigation should be pursued, I think that's highly dependent on the specific case. Maybe an avenue of investigation is...
Are there some cases in which an avenue of investigation that's supported by the evidence should not be pursued?
Well, Senator, I think the supported by the evidence part of it is the key, and I think that
That's why my question was asked the way it was, which is, why would you want an investigative agency to categorically refuse to investigate legitimate avenues of investigation if the evidence, if the facts and circumstances justify it? You're not suggesting that that's a good idea, are you?
I'm sorry, I didn't understand your question, Senator.
Never mind. My time has expired.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator. Senator Moody.
Thank you, Chairman Kennedy.